Good morning, my dear students. Welcome back to my lecture of the module 8. That is my hazardous waste. That is the subject topic we are discussing. Now today, I will just tell you about the finally the conclusion part. More or less, we have come to the hazardous waste as per the schedule is concerned, the characteristics and how to identify the hazardous waste. Uh, so that is the fine tuning. Just the finishing portion. I will just conclude in today's lecture. Today and another lecture I will take for conclusion part of this hazardous waste. Now, I'm just brushing up the whole things which have been covered regarding the hazardous waste again, and the type characteristics of the hazardous waste as per the schedule is concerned. So, the primary purpose of the hazardous waste definition to help the stakeholders uh, establish whether waste is hazardous or potential hazardous. So hazardous waste means the waste which by reason of characteristics such as physical, chemical, biological, reactive, toxic, flammable, explosive or corrosive cause danger or is likely to cause the danger to health or environment, whether alone or in contact with other waste or substances, and shall include. Here, in today's lecture, I will specially highlight that the hazardous waste will be hazardous alone as well as when it will act in mixture with other waste, that then also how it will how it will create the hazardous waste, that also I will just illustrate. So whether alone or in contact with other waste or substances, that will show, that is the new thing I am just going to tell you in this lecture today. Now, waste specified in schedule 1 that we have seen the hazardous waste in my previous lecture. Now, waste having equal to or more than the concentration limits equal to or more than the concentration limits specified for the constituents in class A and class B in schedule 2, that we have seen also in previous lecture, or any of the characteristics as specified in class C of schedule 2, that also we have seen in the different class A, B, C of schedule 1 to the hazardous waste, that we have seen in my previous lecture. Now, waste specified in part A of schedule 3 in respect of import and export of such waste, or the waste not specified in part A but exhibits hazardous characteristics specified in part C of schedule 3. So that schedule 1, schedule 2, schedule 3, class A, B, C, you have to be aware of that thing before assuring of the hazardous waste. Now, the possible effects of the hazardous waste are uncertain and vary greatly depending on the nature and volume of the substance and receiving environment. However, uh, mortality, if managed improperly, the possible effects from toxic and hazardous substances on humans, animals, and plants include mortality, adverse effects on reproduction, causing cancer, causing deformities, and genetic mutations, causing other diseases, accumulation in the environment, and living issue. So, hazardous waste classification and operator requirements. As we have seen that waste is considered as hazardous based on properties that make it potentially dangerous or harmful to human health or the environment. It can be liquid, it can be solid, it can be gases or discarded unused commercial product like medicine, expired medicine we have already illustrated earlier, or discarded used material. Now, various characteristics have been defined under Class C of Schedule 2 and Part C of Schedule 3 of hazardous and other waste, Rules 2016. So let us see the characteristics again, which we have described earlier also, but we are fine-tuning that lecture again in this because this is very, very important as far as your syllabus is concerned. So the first characteristics I am going to elaborate, that is the in gist I told earlier, but today in my lecture I will just elaborate the characteristics in elaborated way. I will just illustrate like flammable or ignitable. The first characteristics again I am going to highlight, that is the flammable or ignitable. A waste exhibits the characteristics of flammability or ignitability if a representative sample of the waste has any of the following properties. Let us see the properties, how we can say this is the flammable and ignitable. So this is the hazardous waste. So the following properties I am going to highlight. Out of this, if one matches, then it can be called that is a flammable and ignitable. So it's a hazardous waste. Say we are talking first the flammable liquids or mixture of liquids or liquids containing solids. So permutation combinations are flammable liquids, mixture of liquids, liquids containing solids in solution or suspension. For example, paint, varnishes, liqueurs, etc., but not including substances or waste otherwise classified on account of their dangerous characteristics, which give off a flammable vapor at temperature less than 60 degrees centigrade. So what is the identification of the flammable fluids? It gives off a flammable vapor at temperature less than 60 degrees centigrade. That has to be kept in mind. Temperature less than 60 degrees centigrade. That is the identification of the flammable liquid. Now these flash points shall be measured as per the ASTM code D9379 closed up test method or as determined by any equivalent test method published by Central Pollution Control Board CPCB. Now number 2 case, that characteristics of flammable or ignitable again I am highlighting. It is not a liquid and is capable under standard temperature and pressure of causing fire through friction, absorption of moisture or spontaneous chemical changes, and then ignited, burns vigorously and persistently, creating hazard. This is also coming into the purview of the flammable and ignitable hazardous waste. It is an ignitable compressed gas. So these are the identification. How to identify it is a hazardous waste? These are the characteristics and properties by which you can identify these are the I mean to say the hazardous waste. It is an oxidizer, and for the purpose of characterization is a substance such as chlorate, permanganate, inorganic peroxide, or a nitrate that yields oxygen readily to stimulate the combustion of organic matter. So once it produces the oxygen, then means it will create a case of combustible. So it will be flammable. So combustion of organic matter will take place. So it stimulates. It is readily to stimulate the combustion of organic matter. So that's why it will be treated as the flammable or ignitable hazardous waste. Easily catches on fire. Examples include petroleum products, pesticides, solvents. These are the hazardous waste because the petroleum products very much prone to catch fire, pesticides, solvents, etc. Now this is all about the characteristics, properties I have defined regarding the flammable or ignitable hazardous waste. Now I will describe about the corrosive. Now a waste exhibit the characteristics of corrosivity if a representative sample of the waste has either of the following properties. Now you as an engineer, civil engineer, come environmental engineer, you have an idea about the characteristics of the waste because all waste are not the hazardous waste. So what is the characteristics? What is the properties identification? Whether it can be called as the corrosive in characteristics in nature. So that's why it can be concluded that this is the hazardous waste. So that you have to identify. So these are the properties corresponding to the corrosive case, that is the corrosive hazardous waste. What are the properties? Now it is aqueous and has pH less than or equal to 2. That means it is highly acidic or greater than or equal to 12.5. So either it is less than or equal to 2 or it is greater than or equal to 12.5. as I have given the example in my earlier lecture, hydrochloric acid as well as the sodium hydroxide caustic soda, that is the greater than the 12.5. pH is greater than 12.5, highly alkaline, and highly acidic, less than pH equal to pH less than equal to 2. So this type of waste will be treated as the hazardous waste because it will affect as a corrosive action, highly acidic or highly alkaline. It is a liquid of and corrodes steel at a rate greater than 6.35 milliliter per hour at a test. So if it corrodes the steel at a rate greater than the 6.35 millimeter per year, so that means it is a hazardous waste. And at temperature of 55 degrees, at test temperature of 55 degrees centigrade, if it corrodes 6.35 millimeter per hour. Yeah. It is not aqueous, and when mixed with an equivalent weight of the water, produces a solution having pH less than or equal to 2 or greater than or equal to 12.5. Yes, of course, maybe it is not aqueous, but when mixed with equivalent weight of water, it may create the pH less than or equal to 2, that is the highly acidic, and greater than or equal to 2.5, that is the highly alkaline. As I have put the example of the caustic soda, so then it will be treated as the hazardous waste. It is not a liquid, and when mixed with an equivalent weight of water, produces a liquid that corrodes steel at a rate greater than 6.35 millimeter per year at a test temperature of 55 degrees centigrade. That means what I have come to know, the hazardous waste of the characteristics under corrosive, that may be aqueous liquid having less than equal to pH 2 or greater than equal to pH 12.5, or it may corrode the steel 6.35 millimeter annually at this temperature 55, or if independently the aqueous solution can do these things, or if it is not even aqueous but when mixed with equivalent weight of water, if they produce the same effect as it was in the aqueous, then that also will be considered as the hazardous waste that we have seen. Now let us discuss about the toxic. A waste exhibits the characteristics of toxic if the concentration of the waste constituents listed in class A and B of the schedule are equal to or more than the permissible limit prescribed therein. How? So if it exceeds the permissible limit prescribed as in class A and B, then if the concentration exceeds in the permissible limit, then it will be treated as the hazardous waste. I mean to say the schedule of class A and B. If the permissible limit which is given in schedule and B, if it exceeds that, let us see what actually it means. It has an acute oral LD50 less than 2,500 milligrams per kilogram. It has an acute dermal LD50 less than 4,300 milligram per kilogram. It has an acute inhalation LC50 less than 10,000 parts per million as a gas or vapor. It has acute aquatic toxicity with 50% mortality within 96 hours for zebrafish at a concentration of 500 milligrams per liter in dilution water and test condition as specified in BIS test method. It has been shown to experience or by any standard reference test method to pose a hazard to human health or environment because of its carcinogenicity, mutagenicity, endocrine disruptivity, acute toxicity, chronic toxicity, bioaccumulative properties, or persistence in the environment. Now, toxic means poisonous and may cause injury or death if swallowed, inhaled, or absorbed through the skin. Examples: insecticides, paints, heavy metals. This is the thing. Now, the characteristics part, I am coming to the point of reactive or explosive. That means which is a very, very unstable. A waste exhibits the characteristics of reactivity. If a representative sample of the waste, it has any of the following properties. Now, number one property is it is normally unstable, as I am repeatedly telling you. Reactive explosive means it is really unstable and readily undergoes violent change without detonating. It reacts violently with water or forms potentially explosive mixture with water, like acid. Acid is the classic example. It reacts violently with water or forms potentially explosive mixtures with water. When mixed with water, it generates toxic gases, vapors, or fumes in a quantity sufficient to present a danger to human health of the environment. It is a cyanide or sulfide bearing waste which, when exposed to pH condition between 2 to 12.5, can generate toxic gases, vapors, or fumes in a quantity sufficient to present a danger to human health or the environment. It is capable of detonation or explosive reaction if it is subjected to a strong initiating source or if heated under confinement. Sixth property is it is readily capable of detonation or explosive decomposition or reaction at standard temperature and pressure. It is a forbidden explosive. Now, reactive wastes are unstable under normal conditions that we have seen. They can cause explosions or release toxic fumes, gases, or vapors when heated, compressed, or mixed with water. Examples is phosphorus, sodium, metal. So, substances or waste liable to spontaneous combustion, that is liable to spontaneous heating under normal conditions encountered in transport or to heating up on contact with air and being then liable to catch fire. These are the substances waste liable to spontaneous combustion. Now, substances or waste which in contact with water emit inflammable gases. By interaction with water, that means they are liable to become spontaneously inflammable or to give off inflammable gases in dangerous quantities. Now, oxidizing part, if we describe the substances or waste which, while in themselves not necessarily combustible, may generally by yielding oxygen cause or contribute to the combustion of other material. Organic peroxides, if we say now organic substances or waste which contain the bivalent O structure, which may undergo exothermic self-accelerating decomposition. Poisons, acute substances or waste liable either to cause death or serious injury or to harm human health if swallowed or inhaled or by skin contact. Infectious substances, substances or waste containing viable microorganisms or their toxins which are known or suspected to cause disease in animal or humans. Liberation of toxic gases in contact with air or water, substances or waste which by interaction with water are liable to give off toxic gases in dangerous conditions, dangerous quantities. Ecotoxic, this is the substance or waste which if released present or may present immediate or delayed adverse impact to the environment. That is why it is ecotoxic. By means of bioaccumulation of toxic effects upon biotic, that is the living systems or both. So these are the characteristics. Now I am giving you the photograph of some representative phenomena. Now ignitability, that means can create fire under certain condition, flash point less than 60 degrees centigrade, that we have seen. Corrosivity, pH, it is by measured by pH, that is if it is less than equal to 2 or it is greater than equal to 12.5, it will certainly corrode the steel. So either acid or bases, the corrosivity. Now the gist is the reactivity. You see substances that are unstable under the normal conditions. Under the normal conditions, that is very unstable, can cause explosions, produce toxic fumes, differs pH between 2 and 11.5. Example is cyanide, sulfate, batteries, etc. Toxicity, it is harmful, causing death to human body if ingested inhaled inside our health, and it is absorbed, now leach from waste and pollute groundwater also. Example lead, mercury, etc. etc. So these are the figure symbolic representation showing the selected characteristics of hazardous waste. I have given you the presentable form of the ignitability, reactivity, corrosivity, and toxicity. Now, it's very interesting how to identify hazardous waste. We are discussing the hazardous waste, but there are so many waste, solid waste are there. But how to identify the hazardous waste? That is a challenge to us, because the disposal and transportation system of the hazardous waste is completely in a different and special manner compared to the other usual solid waste. So that's why the necessity of identification of the hazardous waste is very important to the civil engineers. Now, identification of a waste as hazardous is a first and foremost aspect in hazardous waste management. First of all, you have to separate the hazardous waste from other waste, from other solid waste. Now, an occupier must first identify whether the waste they generate is a hazardous waste. Hazardous waste can be difficult to identify. It may not be immediately obvious that the waste you are handling is potentially hazardous. Figure 1 below is designed to help you determine whether or not the waste you are managing is hazardous as per the hazardous and other waste. That is the Management and Transboundary Movement Rules 2016. So let us see the figure. A flow chart. It's a very interesting, that is a flow chart for determination of the hazardous waste as per the rule 2016. Again, I am showing you the flow chart for determination of hazardous waste as per rules 2016. What is the flow chart? First of all, the question will be asked in your mind: is the waste solid, semi-solid, or liquid form or content? It may be the solid, it may be the liquid, it may be the gas, it may be semi-solid. Whatever the this, that means if the waste listed in the schedule 1, that is listed of processes generating hazardous waste, that you have to see. If the question is yes, if it is in schedule 1, because the starting point we have described already the schedule 1, the starting point is the schedule 1. If it is in schedule 1, then it is a hazardous waste. If it is not in schedule 1, then no business of with hazardous waste, you can keep aside. Now coming to the point, this is a programming loop. I just flowchart I am just showing you. If the waste is found in schedule 1, then obviously it is a hazardous waste. Then the next question, next we have to see, does the waste exceed the concentration limits of the waste constituents based on TCLP or STLP listed in class A of schedule 2? That means in schedule 2, the class A, that the limited maximum limit is given. So does your waste exceed this limit? The concentration limit is exceeding. If it is yes, then you go further. If it is no, then you keep it aside. Does the waste exceed the concentration limits of waste constitution based on the TTLC listed in class B? First we will see class A concentration exceed or not. Then I will see whether the concentration limit exceeded, whether the concentration limit as per class B is exceeded or not in schedule 2. And then is the waste classified as per the hazardous characteristics listed in class C of schedule 2 or not. And if it is yes, the waste is hazardous waste. If it is no, then waste is not a hazardous waste. So to identify whether the waste is hazardous or not, for separation of the hazardous waste from the waste, first 3-4 steps you have to go for your assurance. What first you have to check whether the waste is in schedule 1 or not. If it is schedule 1, then you have to check whether it is as per the class A schedule to whether the person will be exit or not. Once it is crossed, it is okay. Then you have to check whether class B of schedule 2 is exceeded or not. And finally, you have to see whether it is listed in class C of schedule 2 or not. So class A, class B, class C. And if it is finally checked that it is characteristics listed in class C, hazardous characteristics listed in class C of schedule 2, then you will confirm that the waste is hazardous waste. So this is the conclusion part of the today's lecture. And one more lecture will be required to conclude the part of that characteristic. I mean to say the hazardous waste types and characteristics. Only one lecture is remaining. I think that will be deliberated in the next lecture. That is the last class of this module, module 8 of this CPC 505. So up to this, whatever the discussion has been done in my video lecture, definitely it will be uploaded in the Google Classroom, and live in live classroom, one-to-one interaction will be taking place for further clarifying of your queries, if any. So thank you very much for joining, for having your patience to see the video. So have a nice day to all.